Hello. Welcome to Meryl's Mystic. I am Meryl. I am a tarot reader and a mystical relationship coach, and I empower witches, bitches, and dudes to complete themselves in order to have healthier soulmate relationships. And not just romantic relationships, our relationships with everything. I'm gonna tell you some stuff about the upcoming energy. I'm actually going to redo a little tarot scope for all the signs, and we'll do like a quick run through of all the signs. Wow, it's been a little while since I've done this. It's been almost a year? A little less than a year. And I keep catching myself sorry. And I almost did it again. I was going to say so, what has been happening? So much besides the obvious that we've all been experiencing. I did it again. But it has been challenging and rewarding, and then challenging some more, and then more rewarding. So we've made it this far, luckily, and unfortunately we've had to lose some people along the way. But I trust that they weren't needed here, so that, which I'm probably going too deep too fast. Let's not get into all the spirit world stuff just quite yet. So one of the great things that happened to us was that we ended up buying a house. And this is my new space, and this is really exciting to be doing this in my space for the first time. And I'm actually kind of nervous. It's funny, you get out of the practice, I got out of the habit of doing it. Even putting makeup on felt weird today, but I like it. And I knew that I needed to do this. My guides have been yelling at me to do it. I keep getting called back to do it. So one of the big things that happened besides the house, which is great, which we totally needed. So we moved in September, and then we didn't have internet for like 2 months. And then it just seemed like and then my car broke down. We've only had one car since October. And then in December, my father got hit by a drunk driver, and it sent him into the spirit world like instantly. He found an exit point, is what they call them. My human self is dealing with the grief and the trauma from that, and I have a great grief counselor therapist who's a grief specialist, who's helping me with that. And my spiritual side knows that he's still with me. He's now with my brother and my grandfather, and so it's been comforting to know that they are all on the other side and they have my back. But it's also sad. I miss them. They're the three most important men in my life up until now. Like Chris. Chris and my nephew are the other two most important men in my life. And so it's sad, but it's crazy. Grief's crazy. So I'm dealing. I'm healing. I shouldn't say I'm dealing. I'm dealing and I'm healing. I've been really taking it slow. It's given me a really cool chance to get back connected to my chakras. I highly recommend that if you ever need help doing that, guidance through chakras. I also can do coaching on that, because it's one of those things, especially when you experience trauma, especially like deep soul-wrenching trauma. It is a really cool tool to get back in touch with like all these aspects of you. And so I got to connect with another psychic friend of mine, and connect with my guides deeper, so that I knew how to move forward from this. And my energy and my aura was all like out of whack, and it's still being like put back together. So I had worked with my chakras before, and it just kind of felt like the right move again. It'd been such a long time to just tune in to those points of energy in my body and to like read up on them again. I haven't read a lot about them, and I have some really cool books on them, so it's been really neat. I've been actually reading recently about the Korean view of chakras, because it's not just a Buddhist thing. It's also it's called like the Gate of Heaven or something like that. Dang it, I was trying to remember it. And of course, my grief brain doesn't like to hold on to memories very well, and it doesn't like big words. So that's fun and exciting. But so I went into this intent. I really wanted to share this with you guys. If it's something that you want to do or something that you feel like you need, I really just put my intention out there. I want to focus on my chakras. I just want to heal them and balance them. It wasn't about opening or closing or anything. It was just about nurturing them and nurturing the things that come with that, or are energetically attached to those. And I noticed a lot with like my root chakra, it was really great to be, I work so hard to paint my nails, and this one was giving me the hardest time, and now hopefully, okay, good, you can't really see it. The perfectionist in me is like, so okay, sorry. It was a great time to be in the house. I really just kind of nested. I did like meditations and yoga attached to my root chakra. I got back into my routine. I got back to basics. Which is why which kind of led me to here again, because Meryl's Mystic has been through so much in the last 2 years of me just kind of seeing what she is as their own entity, and you know, I'm trying to let Meryl's Mystic guide me at the same time, like as my business, and also recognizing when, you know, I had to take a step back and just say, can't do this right now, and because things happen to you, huge things can change how you're going to move forward again. So luckily I've learned from my last rounds with big grief loss that you just gotta kind of trust what your body and your intentions or your intuition is telling you. And again, my brain just totally lost where I was going. So cool. When there's just time to stop, because when these things change you so much, I wouldn't try to, like, you can't force things forward when all of a sudden you're a completely different person. Because it changes you in so many ways. So it's been really cool to like reevaluate, get back to basics, figure out what I love, how I love to connect with people, how I love to help people. I'm only up to my solar plexus chakra. Like, I'm only up to my third chakra. It was really cool because I just told the universe, you know, I want to work with my chakras. I don't know how long I need to, but I need to focus on them. So starting with the root chakra, and literally like a month later, I got signs about like my solar chakra. I started getting these signs that it was starting to at the same time, a friend of mine, my friend Elise Preston, her company is Be More Connected. Check her out. She's awesome. She was working on abundance, just this really cool workshop about abundance and pleasure, and it ended up being like right when I was done with the root chakra, and the sacral chakra, and your sacral chakra is all about pleasure and enjoyment, and so that really, it was just like, it's wild, y'all. It blows my mind all the time still. And so it really, that helped me really dive into my solar plexus, or my sacral chakra, and not just not just find things that are pleasurable, because that was the thing, was about finding pleasure that's not attached to sex, basically. There's more things that you can find pleasure from that isn't sexual, and that's kind of what like society's done to us, is that we think that that's, you know, that's all there is. But there's so much more. There's art and nature and like dancing and just connecting with people, laughter. I wrote things down. I've been writing things down for it too. Yeah, laughter, hugs, just hanging out with your best friends who are also your soulmates. Stuff like that. So that's been really cool. And then again, like a month later, I started getting, at the beginning of this month, at the end of February, beginning of this month, I started getting signs that it was time to move on to my solar plexus. And what was coming with that was like stepping into my power again, being seen, like reaching out for more connection. And also it's great for spring, because spring is getting into your, like getting into your body more, or your solar plexus is getting into your body more and moving your body more. We'll talk about that more in a minute. So it's been a really cool like experiment too, to just put this intention out there and have really no end attachment to it. I have no like final thing like attached, and it's not even just like I stopped working with my root chakra. It was like my root chakra work is still there. I worked on it again today. It's that I'm incorporating, because these are all circles of energy, just like all the cycles of energy that we experience on Earth. They all cycle into each other. They all work with each other. That's why it weirds me out when there's astrologists that think cusps aren't real. Like, it's like everything's one big Venn diagram, y'all. Like, that's all it is. So that's been really cool. I'm still learning. We're all still learning. I just kind of had that realization that we probably all need some more reminders that we're not alone on this planet, because it's cray, y'all. Okay, so yeah, that's what's been going on with me. All this stuff has been pushing me a little further from doing hair. So I did take my final step back from doing hair, and I'm doing like close friends and family. The down low. And that's been years in the making. And because I loved it, and I loved my clients most of all. But it was time to move on. And all the events have just ended up kind of just pushing it that way. That's been the nice thing about a lot of these wins, is that we've been focusing so much, like Chris and I all the time. I swear to God, our mantra is, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. It always works out. It's gonna work out, because we both get so stressed out about freaking physical human things that it can be overwhelming and stressful, and we're just human. And so and looking back now, we're just kind of look at each other now like, hey, that really worked out. Like, it's really working out. Like, so I hope that I can help you guys do more of that. I'm working on living in more alignment of all these things that I've been working on and sharing and experiencing. Because I'm trying to make as little plans as possible. This has really forced me to go back to basics. And so I think that's a good little segue. So tomorrow is the spring equinox, and it is the first day of Aries season. The spring equinox is also represented in the pagan tradition by Ostara. I had to write it down. Ostara. I'm still going. I'm like relearning and doing deeper learning of all this stuff too. Ostara is a pagan goddess and associated with the spring equinox. So tomorrow, I think it's, yeah, tomorrow day into the night is where we have equal hours. And it's the first day of spring and Aries season, like I said. So happy birthday to all of you Aries out there, our little babies. You guys are our little fire babies. If you know an Aries, they're probably fun, really super independent, stubborn, but usually I feel like Aries have this way of like down, like on this like subtle, even though they're usually very extroverted and can be pretty boisterous in a good way. They have this kind of coy way of getting you to do what they want you to do. And it can be used for good or it can be used for evil. Like all of us, it could be, used for your light or for your shadow, either way. But I'm sure you have an Aries that you love in your life. I feel like I have at least one sign of everybody in my life that I love. And then there's definitely people and signs that taught me some lessons that I don't totally love, and that's okay too. So Aries season is also associated with your root chakra. When I was talking about going back to basics, this is a great time to go back to your goals and intentions that you set at the beginning of the year. Because I'm sure by now you're not thinking about them at all. It's like all those New Year's resolutions like a month later. So this is a great time to revisit those because it's an astrological new year. Pisces season is ending. It's the last day of Pisces today. Pisces season is ending. That's the end, winter is closing down and spring is starting to come through. So Aries is all about energy. They are fire. It's a good time to start your spring cleaning, start to move your body more. And when it comes to those intentions and goals that you set, it's not just about looking at them and like trying to get them going again. It's about reevaluating them too. Make sure that you're seeing if they still feel in line for you. It's been a couple months. Shit happens. So if there's some intentions that you're like, oh shit, I wanted to do that, so let's do that. And if there's other ones that are like, don't do it. Don't force yourself. It's not worth it. If you feel type of way about it, it's probably telling you something. So let it go and focus on the one that you're excited about, or find a new one. Find something new that you discovered in the last couple months, in the last couple weeks. It's possible. So before we get into the tarot scopes, and then if you guys have questions, I wish I would have said this when there are a few more people on here. They'll be back. So Aries season is associated with the Emperor, and they are ruled by Mars. Yes, because that is, yeah. And you can also, it's cool on here because you can also see the rams on the Emperor's throne there, and Aries is the ram. So I like to call the Emperor our tarot daddy, which I was trying to think about this earlier because in astrology, Aries is like the baby. And the spring age is like 0 to 25, because it's the quarters. And then the Emperor is like the father figure. I will be your father figure. I miss my dad. So the Emperor is also, when the Emperor comes along, it's really about boundaries, strong foundation. Like, look at all that. It's rock hard. There's a lot of like stability, divine masculine. We don't want no toxic masculinity around here. The Emperor ain't about that. He's He's a man, baby, and he's comfortable with who he is, but he's also like he's built something to be proud of. He's built something to protect. The Emperor likes to come around, and he is like with the root chakra too. It's about that like strong foundation so that you can build something huge or something worth, you know, with longevity, for longevity. My mouth and my brain are working together, y'all. It's amazing. So when the Emperor comes in reverse, a lot of the time he kind of is warning you that like maybe you're not as, you know, maybe not as strong as you think you are. Not like, I don't want to say as strong as you think you are, but it's like maybe take it easy on yourself. Or also remember, like, the Emperor, he has that nice little shroud on, but he's got armor on underneath. He's always has his armor on. He's always ready for a fight. And sometimes that's just no way to live life. But Aries is strong, and they know like what they want, and they go and get it when they figure out that they want it. And that's what the Emperor does. So he's a good one. I think, and I'll probably post something about him this month also. I think I'm going to do that this zodiac year, is try to do more. So let's start off with Aries. Okay. We've got the information. We're all caught up with each other. Or I hope we are. The links are in the comments because, as usual, technical difficulties. Okay, so before we start reading, deep breaths, y'all. In your nose and out your mouth. I'm gonna ring my bell. I've had to take a lot of those lately. Make sure you're doing that every day. Big ones. Okay. But it's also exciting. Feel the butterflies. Okay, we'll start with Aries, and we'll just go around the horn. And we'll start there. Okay, so this is your tarot scope for Aries season, which starts tomorrow, March 20th, and goes to April 21st. I meant to write that one down. It's the 19th, 20th, or 21st. I'm going to post something about it tomorrow. Don't worry. So for the next month, for the next Aries season. Okay, Aries. Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is all about new ideas. But for you, it feels like it's like something that you need to say, like something new that you need to say. It's not just a new idea. It's that this idea needs to be known. It needs to be spoken out into the universe. And it is like strike while the iron is hot. Like you're inspired now. It's on your mind. It's like it feels like it's right there. It is like I just saw like a tea kettle that was like so close to whistling when it's boiling. That's kind of you right now. Like you're boiling with these ideas. Your mind is racing, but at the same time, it feels like there's some focus in there, and there's like things that you're being called to do, and it needs to come out. You need to share it with somebody. Find somebody that you trust, that you can share with, that you So you can start building it, so you can start doing more brainstorming about this to get it off the ground. It feels like something that needs to just be spoken. It needs to be spoken out and manifested into the universe, baby. So whatever that is, like, it's time, like, it's like that water is almost boiling. Like, you know, it's like that, I can even hear, like, that little pre-whistle before, like, the strong whistle of the water boiling. Like, so whatever you gotta say, Aries, it's time to say it. Maybe there's been something on your mind about somebody and that you've been needing to, like, maybe it's time to, like, cut the cord, baby. There, you know, but they keep saying, strike while the iron is hot. Strike while the iron is hot. Yeah. Okay, I'm actually going to keep just pulling off the top. I told them that. Oh, sweet. Taurus. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Not a time for a new job, Taurus. I don't know why that was, like, the first thing. I mean, because Ace of Pentacles is, like, new opportunities, especially for making money, or new paths of abundance. And for some reason, the first thing that came up was, don't start a new job right now. Don't force it. Just don't. Just keep hearing, just don't. It's funny. It's like, it feels completely opposite of Aries. While Aries was just like, all right, we're doing it. This feels like, whoa, pull on the brakes. Pull it back a little bit, because it's not quite ready. It's like it's something. Okay. I hear them. Your seed is not ready to be planted yet. I hope that means something for you. Your seed is not ready to be planted. During this time, especially, a lot of messages come up. Plant your seeds, plant your seeds, plant your seeds. But for you, Taurus, it just feels like not quite yet. They're not ready to be put into the ground. It's funny because one of my colleagues, friends, the other day was posting about, you know, it's spring, plant your seeds. And I said, in Colorado, we wait till Mother's Day because the ground's still frozen. So in reverse, it's like your ground is still frozen. That might not be the seed that you actually want to plant. There might be it's not that there isn't a seed to plant. It's that it's either not the right time to plant it, or there's a different seed that needs to be planted. Okay? Metaphorically speaking. A new idea, a new path. New path really, like, it really feels like this has something to do with a new path. New path. Okay. Aries, Taurus, Gemini. Gemini, 10 of Wands in reverse. So here's our little 10 of Wands. So the 10 of Wands is like when you're coming near the end of something. Like you're almost at the finish line. It's been, especially with Wands, it's usually a path of passion, a passion project, something that you love, something that you really dedicated yourself to. But in reverse, there's a couple things that come when it's reverse. It can be wanting you to, you know, remember that you're just like, you're not quite there yet, unfortunately. You might be really wanting to, like, reach the end with something that you're working on, but it's like, you're not as... They tell me things sometimes that I don't want to say, and I've seen this happen to other readers before too. You're not quite there yet, Gemini. You're just not. You're not. I know that you want, it's like you really want to be at, like, near the end of the tunnel, and, like, you can see the light, which is great, but you're not as close to the end as you would like. Hopefully that's just validation. I like the 9, a lot of times it can be referencing the card before, the 9 of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is a tough card too, because it's when you've just been through it. You've been through the shit, and you've been like feel beaten down and almost broken, but you're still standing. You're still standing. So it could mean that in order to get closer to the end, definitely like ask for help. And I think that's probably really hard for Gemini. Gemini is pretty independent. The first three signs is already very independent. So you're needing to ask for help. You're needing to communicate something. I just keep hearing you're just not there yet. You're just not there yet. I don't know what that means. Where are you trying to go, Gemini? What are you trying to finish? What is this project that you are so desperate to wrap up? Because you know what it is? Is that it's like you love, if this is something that you've been working on that you love and you've just been putting all your time and effort into it, it's like, why are you in such a hurry to finish, to end it? Like, you wanted to do this and you loved most of it. It would probably, sometimes the things that we want most are sometimes the hardest things to get. And you have to really go through all the tests and challenges to get there. So it's like the universe wants you to slow down just a little bit on it and like be a little bit more present with it, because if you rush through this last bit of what you're working on, you might regret it in the end, because then it's gonna be over, and then you're gonna be like, fuck, I really loved that, and then I was so desperate for it to end. Or maybe you're being like pressured by like somebody, like a boss or a colleague or a family member or something to get this done, and don't let them push you either. Like, you need to tell them to back, if maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a little bit more boundaries, and you tell them to back off, like that you'll get it done in your own time. Because you might be feeling this pressure to get it done quickly, but if you get it done too quickly and it's over, you're going to be like, oh wait, I didn't enjoy that the way that I wanted to. Okay? All right. Okay, I have to move on. That was a lot, Gemini. It took a minute to come through. Okay, Cancer. 4 of Wands in reverse. Oh, Cancer. This is kind of interesting because I feel like the 4 of Wands is kind of like a Cancer card. The Chariot is also associated with Cancer because Cancer is the crab, and you guys carry your homes on your backs, and you're very much like home is where the heart is people. Very family oriented usually. Why do you not, like, with it in reverse, it's feeling like you might not really feel very at home right now. It's funny, it's been a while since I've pulled cards for the signs, but Cancer, every now and then, it's like what you think you want and what you actually want aren't always going together. It's like you're constantly in the middle of this, like, what you should want and what you actually want. And sometimes that can be hard because rejection can be really difficult for you, especially for those that you love. It's like you want the people around you that love you, but you want these other things in your life, and you're worried that the people around you might not be okay with it. This could also be if you are a Cancer and maybe you're in the middle of moving, maybe you're in the middle of a divorce. There's some like root chakra work that maybe needs to be done here, because it just feels like you're used to feeling at home where your family is, and all of a sudden maybe it doesn't feel the same. It's funny because I got that, like, somebody out there wants loves their family, wants to be with their family, but there's something else that you want to do and something else that you want that you don't think that they're going to like be accepting of. But you like, if that's where you belong, then they'll be accepting. You know what I mean? And you can't stifle what you want here. It's feeling very stifling. I just got like this weird tightness, kind of around my heart, like it's because it's, again, there's something that you love and you want to keep. You almost want your cake and you want to eat it too. But I feel like you can have it. I feel like that doesn't apply here. It's like, don't think about that. If someone's giving you cake, you get to eat it. So, yeah, Cancer, this is really feeling like, you're just gonna have to be doing some like deep emotional, like heart digging. It might be time to have like some important talks with those around you, because you need to be, because the more you aren't honest about what you want with those you love, it's gonna take a toll on you, and those that you love will start eventually noticing it, because you aren't gonna be fully happy and fulfilled, and then you risk taking it out on the people you love, and then isolating yourself, pushing them away, and then you've lost it all. So honesty is the best policy, Cancer. Okay. Leo. Ooh, lots of reversals, y'all. I was like, when we started with the Ace of Swords upright, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be good. But, 2021, 2020, the sequel. Because the lessons just keep on a-rolling. Big wheels keep on turning. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. The 8 of Pentacles is about self-mastery in the physical world. It's about, the 8 is obviously the sign of infinity. This card, although it is very much about what's happening, excuse me, I had to close the window. What's happening in the physical, it's also about, self-mastery is not just about what's happening in the physical. It is about a balance between all parts of you, your spiritual body, your physical body, your intelligence about your mind, all of it. You need all of it to, master yourself. Are you gonna master yourself? So, in reverse, slow down. Slow down's the first thing I hear. Slow down. Slow down. Like cruising level. I love it when we're cruising together. Yeah. I always get songs in my head. It's like, again, you can't force this. You can't force getting to the mastery level of yourself. You can't, there's also no end game in this life. We are always learning. We are always growing. We are always changing, evolving, devolving until the very end. So there's no, I feel like it's almost like, it's almost like, stop thinking that there's gonna be a moment that you're gonna like get there, or stop thinking like, oh, I'll be happy when I get there. Or I'll be happy when this happens. The card before this is the Seven of Pentacles, and that is all about waiting and patience. Self-mastery has no timeline. I feel like I think that's probably the big message, is there is no timeline, Leo. And I know that you don't want to hear that. My mother's a Leo. And you guys want things when you want them. And I get it. I'm Scorpio. I get it. We have a lot in common. But there's no timeline. It is really about that sort of true self-mastery that brings on that true, like, calm and peacefulness, comes from being present. And it's a practice, man. I practice it every day. And the only time I probably truly, like, it's been very few times where I realized this when I heard somebody else talk about it recently, that there's very few times you actually experience that true peace and calmness that comes from being in the present. And I'm sure a few of the few times that I have, most of them I was probably on some sort of hallucinogen. Psilocybin, y'all. Talk to the universe. You don't need it. I mean, you can still talk to the universe. I do it all the time. So you're doing it, Leo. You're doing the self-mastery, but it's time to chill. A little patience, some nurturing, really get that nurturing on, and let go of the timeline. Let go of it. Good luck. You let me know what kind of support you need for that one, because it's a practice. It's not the easiest thing. It's just not, unfortunately. Okay. Leo, Virgo. Yeah, Virgo. More reversals. More lessons, you guys. Why do you guys gotta give me the tough things to say? It's like, of course, the first time I come back on, they're like, hey, we're gonna call everybody out on their shit. Sweet. If somebody is on here for their sign and something resonates with you, please let me know. Or if you have follow-up questions, also let me know. So, Virgo, Seven of Wands in reverse. A lot of wands happening. So, let's talk. So, the Seven of Wands I call the haters card, because it's when you're like, you finally kind of getting to a place, like when you're elevating in life. It tends to make you more visible, makes you more visible to people when you start, rising above. I'm not saying you're better. Elevating, evolving, growing can make you more visible. And what comes with being visible? Haters, y'all. The haters come and want to knock you down, because that's what they do. Because they're jealous. And we've all done it. We've all been there. We've all been the hater and the hatee. So, what are we doing in reverse today for Virgo? Well, feels like Virgo's having a hard time accepting that what they have is worth fighting for. This card can be very frantic feeling, especially in reverse. Recently, it was pointed out to me that he's at there's a very non-binary person, they have two different shoes on. Like, they were like, oh, we got this, it's going, so let's get there. And then you gotta get there and you're fighting. So this feels very much like, it feels kind of simple for you, Virgo. What you have is worth fighting for. It has value. You've been working hard for it. A few extra people might be noticing because it's looking good. You gotta forget them. The other thing I think that this is, shoot, it was just there. Help me out, y'all. Help me. What you have to fight for is valuable. Dang it. There was something else and it was good, and I'm sorry, Virgo, grief brain. Maybe it was my own thing that came up, and they're like, no, you don't need to say that. Because the Six of Wands is all about celebration. Oh, and because of the frantic part, a little bit of slowing down here, man. Like, a little bit of, maybe you need to, like, celebrate what you've worked for and celebrate what you have, or what you've accomplished so far, so then that you see what you have is worth something. It's valuable, it's worth protecting, and it's worth your time and attention. And I know you love giving things your time and attention, Virgo, so stop rushing around. Find a little bit of, like, celebration in what you have. I think there's just a reevaluation of value that needs to happen here to make sure, and also to make sure that if maybe there's something you are fighting for and you shouldn't be. That's, like, the other way that this could go, is that maybe what you're fighting for needs to be let go. Okay? Sweet. Libra. Libra, an upright card, but still kind of a tough one. It's funny, this is the second sword, and it's the Two of Swords. And we got the first, we're going in order, swords, apparently. Libra, there's a decision that you need to make. And it's time to just fucking make it. It's time to rip off that Band-Aid, my friend, and, you know, make the decision. You're making it too hard on yourself, is what this card is also says. Is it's like, you could make a decision if you really wanted to. And it's hard. I know air signs, it's hard for you to make decisions. But this Aries season, it is time for you to make the decision and stick to it. Once you've made it, that's what it is. Okay? I know it's hard, Libra. It's kind of funny that this is the card that comes up for you, because you gotta make a decision. Yep. I think that's pretty cut and dry, folks. I'm not getting much else. She's holding them up herself. I think that's the funniest thing about this card, is like, it comes up a lot when it's like, you're doing this to yourself. You're making it hard. You're making it difficult. Put the swords down. Make the best decision for you. Make the best decision for you. That's the most important thing. And then once you've made it, it's done. You made it. Move on. Okay. Scorpio, my Scorpios. Knight of Wands in reverse. Oh, man. Knight of Wands in reverse. This one always kind of throws me a little bit. Of course, Scorpio. Because the Knight of Wands is like an Aries or a Leo. And he's very passion-driven. Like the Page of Wands, he knows he's going somewhere, but he doesn't always know where he's going. The Knight of Wands is a little bit more focused, but he's in reverse. So we're not focused, apparently. I say we because I'm a Scorpio too. Apparently, Scorpio, there needs to be a little bit more focus here, and it feels like it's not just like the focusing on like the responsibility or like the things that you're supposed to do. You want to go somewhere, but you're holding back a little bit because I don't know, you're shitting on yourself. Shitting on yourself. Like, what do you want? What are you doing? They're just like, what are you doing, man? Like, where are you going? It's time to be a little bit more focused. It's time to maybe simplify a little bit. I say, yeah, like, agreeing. Like, yeah, let's get a good point. Again, getting back to basics. You have the passion and the drive, but it's feeling a little, like, scattered. Like, do I go this way? 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 It's time to, like, pick a road, but you gotta, again, like Libra, you gotta pick it, and you gotta, like, that's gotta be the one. But it's gotta be the one that you're most excited about. I think that's the big thing with it coming up in Wands for you, is that you gotta be excited. It's gotta be what's gonna light you up. Like, there's no point unless you're excited about it, unless it's gonna, like, set you on fire. That's it. Go set yourself on fire, I guess. But go, yeah, fun, enjoyable, passionate. Stop wasting your time on things that are draining you and that you're not, you know, it's hard in this life because we're all so conditioned to do these things that society and the patriarchy has said that this is how life is lived. Who fucking says so? Who says? Why? Why is it that guy or that guy? Why is what you say is the best way to live? It's a new age, baby, and it's time for you to decide where you live. That's good advice for everybody. You decide. You decide what's the best way for you to live. There's no one thing that works for everybody. It's just, and this way that they've been telling us we're supposed to live our lives is not working. Hello, the world's on fire. So, when we're met with decisions, and obviously you guys have some decisions going on, like there's decisions and paths, and it just feels like everyone's just kind of like, I just don't know where to go. Come back right here. Right to your titties, as Lizzo would say, to your heart. Lizzo does this too. Lizzo does this at her concerts. Comes right here. What does your heart say? What does your heart say? That's where you gotta go. And we gotta help each other by trying to be more accepting of when people make those decisions for themselves. Because that's why it's scary, is because we're afraid that the people around us are gonna, like, turn on us, judge us, leave us. So yeah. So next, okay. Sorry. Tangent. Life tangent. Message. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is for Scorpio, so now Sagittarius. Queen of Pentacles, Sagittarius. Okay, well, you would, Sagittarius. Here we are all having all these lessons and having to make all these decisions and having to come to grips with who we truly are and what we want to be. And here's Sagittarius just sitting all like, I'm good over here. I got what's going on. I'm cool. That's why we love you, Sagittarius, because you're so unapologetically you, and you know how to look on the bright side of things. So I hope that you're feeling this Queen of Pentacles right now. I hope that you're feeling this, like, blessed abundance. Maybe this is trying to show you how blessed and abundant you are. Like, look around. Look at, like, we're all surrounded. America, we're all surrounded by our shit. It's abundance. It's abundance. Like, do you guys like my peace lily? Chris's mom got it for me. It's usually sitting behind me, but I just felt like he needed to be here. But like, cause the more plants I have, the more like it reminds me of abundance. But like, I look at, straight up, y'all, I don't think I've paid for a single piece of furniture in my house. I have a fully furnished house, and I haven't paid for any of it. That is true abundance. I mean, I'm not against buying things. Like, trust me. Like, we'll eventually have to buy a new couch. We're gonna have to buy a new mattress soon. But if we just realize what we can attract, it's right there. It comes so much easier. And that's really what the Queen of Pentacles, like, is all about. She's all about abundance. She's very similar to the Empress. We are blessed. We are abundant. The more we recognize that, the more it will come to us, and then we can then in turn help others. Once our cups are full, then we can help fill other people's cups. But we have to recognize how abundant we truly are and how abundant the world is around us. And that abundance is a universal truth. That's why I have a hard time saying like attracting or like getting. You're just accessing it. It's accessing abundance. It's there. It's all around us. So Sagittarius, that's your homework for Aries season is just count your blessings, man. Say thank you. I'm grateful. Grateful for this bed. I'm grateful for this house. I'm grateful for the food in my kitchen. I'm grateful, that I have locked doors and running water and electricity, and I'm grateful for the freaking internet. If you start playing the grateful game more, it just changes that energy. I was going to share information, but then I freaking forget the name. There's these two of my colleagues. They're lovely. Their company is, they're Samara and Sade, and they're House of Umi, U-M-I. And they reminded me the other day. Yeah, Samara and Sade, House of Umi. I hope I got their names right. Two people. I know I just said ladies. I think they're more non-binary. Excuse me. Two beautiful people. House of Umi. They reminded me the other day that it's all energy. And just like in that documentary from years ago, What the Bleep Do We Know? How they showed that your energy can affect the water molecules. They were putting great gratitude on their salt. They're like, sprinkle some gratitude on your food. I was like, oh my god, that's a great idea. So straight up, it says I'm grateful on our salt. It says gratitude on blue tape across it. I have all these jugs of water that we get from the water filter because we're out in the country and we gotta get filtered water. And I just started writing like, water is life. I am love. I am grateful. Life is peaceful. Thank you. Like, just the energy. So start infusing yourself with gratitude will bring you abundance. Okay. Capricorn. Ooh, Queen of Swords. Sorry, from the last energy, this is a very different queen. Capricorn. Just, I feel like this is like, it's like all I see is like, you're not getting in here. You're not getting to this. It's a very Queen of Swords, like composed and together. The King and Queen of Swords, though, I always say that they're meditation masters. They're great with mindfulness. And you can't, although this isn't in reverse, I feel like I'm still getting a message that you can't be mindful if you're closed-minded, or even if you're just closed off. Like, it just felt like you were very, like trying to close down or be cold. Because the Queen of Swords can be cold if she wants to be. But she's upright. She's open. She's straight up. She's focused. But she's also open-minded. So there's like a balance here. I just feel like it's like, Capricorn, hey, psst, hey, are you listening? Are you listening, Capricorn? It does just feel like openness, like it's just trying, like the Queen is just trying to get you to see, like, that you can be strong, and you can be composed and purposeful and open-minded at the same time. I think that's really what, like, kind of toxic masculinity, patriarchy stuff really makes us, like, associate these two things. That, like, if you're this, like, composed, like, if you think of all those characters, like, composed characters in all over TV, and I mean, I think we would look at conservatives and say, like, oh, they're very composed and this and that and everything. Well, there's people out there that can be very composed, and I'm not just talking about, like, spiritual people. I'm, like, because that would be, like, obvious when you're composed and you're open-minded. I'm talking about everybody, and if you're just, like, a quieter, more composed person, that does not mean that your mind has to be also composed, and there's some sort of balance here. That one, it's like I'm having a hard time grabbing it. It's feeling like I'm having a hard time grabbing it. So it's all, are you having a hard time grasping it? Maybe just meditation, man. It's time for some meditation, apparently, because that's the only thing I can think that is going to help you. It's like you need to sit with your mind more, with nothing else going on. That's meditation, basically. So yeah, Capricorn, let me know how that works out for you. Okay, next, Aquarius. Oh, Aquarius. 8 of Cups reversed. Interesting. I feel like the 8 of Cups hardly ever comes up in reverse. And of course it will do something weird for you, Aquarius. See that person back there? And they are walking away, man. This is actually the first Cups we've had for everybody, which is our emotions, our heart space. It is the heart. Cups are the heart chakra mostly. Aquarius. It just feels, I mean, you feel a little bit brokenhearted. Maybe you might also be disheartened. It feels disheartening. Disappointed. It's, you want to walk away from something or somebody, but I just heard you're not going to be able to walk away until you can forgive. Even if you physically walk away, Aquarius, you won't be emotionally, spiritually, mentally walking away until you forgive yourself, that other person, the situation, something. That is what came through, is forgiveness. Forgiveness. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. What is that movie? Just Friends, I think. That early 2000s. Ryan Reynolds played the fat kid in high school, and his best friend was this hot chick. And then he comes back to town, and he's all hot, and Anna Faris is like this woman he's working with. She's an artist, and it is so goofy, but I think about it, forgiveness is more than saying sorry. Is what oh, it's the worst song ever, but I love it so much. Watch that movie if you can. It's a good one. Okay. Last but not least, Pisces, and then I will get to the chat and answer questions or pull cards for you guys. Okay, Pisces. Ooh, the High Priestess. We are closing out your season, Pisces. Oh man, was it an emotional season. I can't even tell you, like, even people that don't believe in astrology, I like over here at work, like, talking about how it's just been so emotional recently, and they're crying more than they ever have. And I'm just like, there's an astrological answer to that. So, I feel like especially if you're a Pisces that was really affected by Pisces season, and even if you weren't that affected, there's something here about you're not trusting your intuition enough. The High Priestess is all about your intuition, being connected to spirit, being connected to your higher self, and being connected to your higher power. So when it's in reverse, there's always like you're not listening to your intuition enough. You're not listening to the signs enough. You're not listening to your guides enough. So it makes me feel like maybe it was super emotional for you this last season, you might just be all up in your emotions, all up in your feels. And although emotions are a very important part of your intuition, it's not the only part of your intuition. So there's like some balancing here, maybe getting into your heart space more, getting into your body. Your body is a huge antenna for your intuition, especially on Earth. Holy crap. So your Pisces, you are naturally intuitive, and it breaks my heart when I see Pisces that just like refuse to believe that they're Pisces, because I feel like it just shuts down this great potential in them, because you guys are the oldest sign. You encompass all these aspects of yourself. You're highly dynamic. You see the world through rose-colored glasses. Like there's just something so whimsical and magical about you most of the time. And when you're in your shadow, it is some of the saddest, most depressing people I've ever met in my life. Like, I just had this realization recently. Like, there's a couple of Pisces I work with, and I'm just like, yo, I wish you guys believed in astrology, because it would help you not feel this way. And some of them do, and they still do, because it's hard, man. I understand. So the High Priestess is trying to, like, wake you up a little bit. Like, stop being in your shadow. Stop listening to your ego so much. Stop listening to your emotions. Emotions can also be reactive. There's a whole lot of things going on. So it's time, like, just like Capricorn, it's like a little bit of, a lot of these messages were very much like, let's just come into ourselves. Although spring is a time to like start, we're still slowly coming out of winter. It's not like, oh, we're asleep winter, hi spring. Like, you're going from winter to summer there, and spring is like this in between time. Still give yourself some time. Everybody, give yourself some time. Be like, gentle, slow. Don't rush it, but don't be lazy also. don't use that as an excuse to not do anything. You still, like, but if you do something, do gentle things. Go for a walk. Do some yoga. It's, or practice physical yoga. We practice yoga all the time, actually. You should be practicing yoga all the time. Okay. So, those are your taroscopes for Aries season 2021. Very good. I mean, I knew we were going through it, but damn, y'all going, I hope that's validating too. You know what I mean? I hope it's validating to be like, oh, okay, so I wasn't just being dramatic or being extra emotional or making stuff up in my head or blah, 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 whatever stories we tell ourselves. We're really going through some shit. It's fair. Really going through it. Okay? All good. But the sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar. And every day is different. Every day is different. We have to remember that. We have to remember that for us and for each other. I think expecting everybody to be consistently the same person all the time is like way too much pressure that we're putting on ourselves and each other. Like, every day is different. The energy changes every day in the universe. Like, we're changing all the time. Our cells are regenerating all the time. Okay? So just be gentle with yourself and each other. So many cards now, y'all. I'm like, and I want more. I want more. Okay. So let's do one final oracle card for everybody for the collective for Aries season. And this is my other moon deck, which is the Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco, and these are really cool too. These are cool cards. Oops. Gravity. These are just beautiful, and they have really cool messages. Ooh. Pleasure. This is like so perfect. This is great. This is a great card for the collective, y'all. Pleasure. It's attached to your sacral chakra, and it just seemed like such a theme of that about us, like doing things that light us up, that make us feel good, that fill our cups, that give us pleasure without sex. We need to learn how to enjoy life without just like, I mean, don't get me wrong, sex is great. I'm a Scorpio. It's one of my favorite things. But it's not the only thing. Okay? Waning gibbous 2, which we're actually in a waxing stage because we're on our way to a full moon soon. Are you taking life too intensively or too seriously? Probably. The time has come to call in the pleasures of life. Seek lightheartedness at this time. Focus on what would make you happy. Schedule in activities you find pleasurable. The affirmation is, I open myself to the pleasures of life. I open myself to the pleasures of life. Oh, I love that. In our search for a better life, something happened along the way. We forgot how to find real pleasure in what we do rather than just being diverted from the everyday. Life can be overwhelming, and our rational minds seem to need every available minute of our time to be able to cope with its demands. Pleasure has taken the back seat, or there is a pattern of it now forming destructive tendencies such as binge drinking, binging anything, binge eating, binge watching, rather than simply having a wine or two with friends, or watching that one show that you really wanted to watch, or just having a little treat. A big part of pleasure is letting go. This does not mean surrendering or giving up. It simply means handing over all of our administration, stress, and worries for a time and immersing ourselves in something joyful. Being present. Being present is so important to us enjoying our pleasure. When we don't allow ourselves to experience pleasure, whether in the form of laughter, play, sensuality, or the development of skills, art, all kinds of art, any kind of art, any art, we remain less than whole and a feel of wanting. No fun actually makes us dull indeed. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Over time, we are much less effective in our emotional and work lives if we do not experience regular doses of pleasure. Our ancient ancestors knew the importance of pleasure in the forming of a healthy mind, body, and spirit. There were gods and goddesses dedicated to happiness and the pleasures of life, such as the Egyptian god Hathor. The temples of Hathor were joyful places of songs and beauty. There were even small temples placed in her honor outside other major deities' temples so that people could be in a happy and contented mental mood before entering to worship. I love that about Egyptian culture, is that they would have these like other little temples, like you would do a little preparation temple for like the big temple. The Egyptians clearly believed that having a positive or relaxed state of mind assisted in having a positive spiritual connection. Companion stone is turquoise. So this was a big thing that came up for a lot of people this time too, was that when we deny the things that make us feel good, it affects us, and then it affects those around us, and then we start taking our shit out on the people that we love, instead of like being honest with what we want or how we feel. So I hope that this is empowering you to do something that makes you feel good. Ever since I been working with my sacral chakra, like I will even text my best friends every now and then, like once a week, and be like, you bitches better be doing something that makes you feel good. One thing, whether it's like a creative thing or relaxing thing, going to bed early, something. Okay, my loves. That's it. Go do something that makes you feel good. That's probably going to be the theme all the time. And so I'm so thankful for you for being here and being receptive and open, and I appreciate your guides for sharing with me. Please continue to follow me on all things Meryl's Mystic. If you're new to my channel, please be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell so you can get all the notifications. And please be sure to like this video if you enjoy it, and please tell me what you got out of it. I would love to hear how you're resonating with the energy and the information. All the links are below, and I will see you next time. Go have fun, okay? Do it.